Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to Elden Ring, where today we should hopefully be finishing the Blade of Calling playthrough. I've got my headphones off and my speakers on right now, and we're going to get right to it. Where's the game? There it is. Okay, so nothing much has happened since last time we left it at Fire Giant. I'm probably going to run from here to the end of the game. We're going to be summoning Alexander for this fight. We only had one crack at Fire Giant before we ended the stream last time, so this is going to be our second attempt. We won't have Torrent for this. I will probably use a Great Rune just to make sure I've got a little extra health, because Fire Giant's a big lad and the armor we have doesn't do a ton of physical resistance, although hopefully it should help us with the fire. As far as the build goes right now, we have level 114. We got a very high faith score because my daggers scale with faith when it comes to Blade of Calling, and faith when it comes to this Flame Art Erdsteel dagger, which we haven't fully upgraded yet to 24, but we will at some stage. We could be putting stuff on our heads, potentially. Be kind of fun to wear the jar, considering Alexander is here to fight with us. But we'll take it off again for cutscenes and stuff. And yeah, right now we're just rocking the Winged Sword insignia. We went and did Millicent's quest. We have the Prosthesis Wearer Heirloom, which we could change out for Flame Drake Talisman, but the Dex is probably helping a bit with our damage with these daggers, and we're doing two-handed or power-stanced L2 or L1 slashes is the goal for this build. Can she see? It doesn't matter. She can feel. That's the important thing. So Fire Giant is big lads, and we have a talisman, or rather a Sacred Seal that we can use to cast Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. He's probably going to snowplow us. Nice. We'll go Golden Vow once we get out of range of this attack. Perfect. And we'll Flame Grant Me Strength here. Switch to dagger number 2. Of course he rolls away. My one problem with doing this fight with Alexander is that I can't get close to Fire Giant once he starts running, because running him down with Torrent is so much better than just running after him on foot. Same for the Elden Beast fight. But we're absolutely going to shred now that we have Winged Sword Insignia and Thorny Cracked here, so hopefully this should be alright. Get him, Alexander! Go for the knees! Okay, he's managed to get the flames up in a place where they're not really attacking me, so that's great. We get to phase 2 nice and easy. And this is the part where I really wish I had Torrent, but I don't, so I'm going to go over here and get my runes. Which aren't many, but we might as well have them. Attack the toes! And then we're going to roll, because inevitably one is going to fall near us. What I'm really hoping for this time is Alexander to pull off a stance break in a spot where I can actually go in and crit the Fire Giant. Although he does seem to be stuck down there right now, so we had that situation last time. It's kind of irritating where Alexander just gets like stuck at the beginning of the arena. Oh no, he is coming. Okay, great. He's just taking his sweet time about it. I also cannot dodge those on foot the way I used to be able to. Alright, just gonna go around here for this, because he usually, like, belches out some fire if you stand in front of him. Okay, that I can't get around. And Alexander has brought him down, which means maybe I can go in here and get a crit. No, dang it. Okay, we missed out on the crit again, which is not my favorite. Get him in the elbows. Okay, he's putting 2 more Giant's Flames out, so we'll run from those while he rolls away. And he's mostly concentrating on Alex right now, which is great. Despite how it occasionally looks, these daggers don't have any bleed, so we can't really do massive damage to him. We're just going to have to keep slicing away. High five, Alex. Very nice. I think, honestly, the jar saved us. Just putting that out there. Well, GG. Not a bad warm-up, quite literally. And we're off to Farum Azula for the... just before the denouement. I like the fact that your head actually goes through the seal of the jar as well. That's really funny. We'll take that off for now, though. Great. Great. That could have gone worse. That could have gone a lot worse. In fact, it did go worse last time, so we saw how it could have gone worse. I think we'll probably still put points into Dex, because we're not relying as much on faith scaling anymore. It's only a B faith scaling as well, so it's not going to be all that effective at getting us much higher damage. Let's pop one of these so that we get at least 1 more level before we head off to Farum. The next weapon is going to be Blasphemous Blade, so it should be really fun to see how quickly we can get hold of that one. We just got to be able to beat Godskin Noble at Volcano Manor to get into Rykard's arena. And then Rykard, obviously, you get the Serpent Hunter, so we can just level that. And it'll be pretty straightforward from there. It's a faith scaling greatsword, but it doesn't scale exclusively with faith. So we can certainly get a fair bit out of strength and dex first. But I don't know if we'll get onto that today. It depends how well we do against the last few bosses. You ready for a cutscene where a nearly identical person tells us to commit? There she is. I really wish we got her cloak.
I have long observed the lands between.
They could be sisters.
This and death. Are you prepared to commit? Very well.
Always.
Let my hand.
She does have unique hair, I believe. If not a unique hair color. But I love this as a an image. We're going to skip the cutscene for this one, though. Two pots in a dream, I know, right? Off we go! To Farum Azula. Melna asking herself if she's ready to commit? Yes. Take my hand, and I'll burn this tree. Stab. Continuous stabs. Additional stabs. Get him. Okay, yeah. When the talisman procs, it really procs. Oh! This is how everyone's going to be playing Duchess in Night Rain, by the way. Slash, 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 slash. Stopwatch. Never played Elden Ring, but this is convincing me. This game is phenomenal. It's pretty tricky, but I have played it through, as the title suggests, over 30 times. So at this stage, I'm pretty good at it. I still stumble on occasional mechanics and occasional fights, but we have now done a bunch of different character builds, and if you can't choose the weapon, if the weapon gets chosen for you in the case of this A to Z challenge, it is occasionally a little bit more difficult, but that's part of the fun. I basically think of this as research into environmental storytelling for Minecraft projects like the one we're currently doing. That got a little ahead, away from me, but... There we go. That's the stuff. Need a few more smithing stones because we still need to upgrade the Erdsteel dagger. I never quite know if this is going to be a worthwhile direction to run, but... Maybe we should try it this time. Oh, cool, because, yeah, we can jump this way. Still going to aggro a couple of guys on the way out, but... It doesn't seem like it's much more worth doing this than the other thing. Nice. Alright, we'll take this. Rat dog with scimitars. Kills a lot of people, as you might imagine. Up we go, and down we go. And this is the part where I inevitably fall off one of the floating islands. In my attempts to dodge these guys. I think I might summon Bernal for this one, just because these daggers do very little poise damage, so fighting Godskin Noble, or Godskin Duo rather, is going to be really annoying without somebody to help draw aggro. And Bernal does occasionally stagger them, which means we can get crits easier than we could if we're just relying on daggers. Can you get the Minecraft Twitch cape even though I'm still playing Elden Ring? No, but there are plenty of other people streaming Minecraft, so... That should not have been as hard as it was. Hey, we got another Banished Knight's Greatsword. We've been there. Some 10 runs or something ago. I think that might actually be the second Banished Knight I've gotten a Greatsword from. Yeah, we have 2 of them. We could dual wield those if we wanted to, but we're past that. Also, check out somebody here with the, is that Nagakiba? It's like the really long katana, or is it a Zweihander? I couldn't really tell. Did I not bring my cup of tea upstairs? Give me a second. I seem to be lacking my cup of tea. The heck was that noise? It wasn't something I did. Because I thought I pressed the mute button. And then it just went boop boop. Is everything okay? Does everything look alright? Seems to be. That was definitely my PC. I just don't know why it did it. Maybe I put the controller down weird. Alright, Bernal. Summoning required ahead. Maybe not required, but recommended, perhaps. Yeah, that was the sound of me plugging my tea back in. That's what it was. Oh god, he's behind me and I didn't realize. I died so quickly, but that's partly because I was hitting L1 and hadn't switched back from the Sacred Seal yet. Don't worry about that. That was a false start. Ignore me. I might also do this without the Great Rune because I'm not entirely confident in my ability to beat Godskin Duo with the daggers. The fight isn't that difficult if you know what you're doing, but I don't know what I'm doing with daggers. There we go. Alright, now we go in. We get this, we back off, we Blade of Gold. Blade of Gold is going to be a fun one to use on Godskin Noble, especially when he does AoEs. Okay, this guy's half dead, which means he's phase 2. I'm going to quickly heal here, but this is going all right. Keep slashing, keep slashing. Get all the damage off you can as he's despawning, and... Is Noble phase 2 yet? No! Banal has somehow not been doing his job. Get a stagger, Banal. Get a stagger. Oh, okay. He's going to be rolling now. Gonna stand on this. Definitely get a few extra slashes in while he's doing that. And then Blade of Gold again. Nice. Yeah, I'm not super happy about fighting Noble like this, but... we can get a couple more of those in, we're okay. Good, okay. Oh, stagger, 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 get him. Dang it. Okay, Black Flame Tornado we definitely want to be away from. And yep, we got killed. I was far too close to him for that attack to really be avoidable, so that's unfortunate. Alright. Let's go again. And the ironic thing is I might actually have survived that if I'd had the Great Rune active, but I think as soon as I use it, Curse of the Rune Arc is going to take over. I do have heal spells as well, I need to remember that if I run out of flasks. But for now, we're going to hop on in and get one of these going, which of course we get punished for. I don't like the fact that I can't see Noble right now. Ouch. Get him with the stagger, Banal, the stagger. Yes. Get stabbed. Wonderful. Okay, that went pretty well. We'll support Banal with Waves of Gold, or Blade of Gold, rather. Okay, phase 2. Oh, phase 2 transition denied. Which means we don't get the rollout attack for once. Unfortunately, we did. Never mind. It's looking pretty good for me right now. Of course, until I absolutely bottle that. Okay, good. Gives me a chance to heal. Roll forward, jumping L2, or L1 rather. Keep slashing, keep slashing. Alright, wonderful. I think I missed a stagger over there, but that's fine. Get more Blade of Golds. I think Banal uses Golden Vow there. Nice. Keep swinging, Banal. Keep swinging. Gonna use one of these real quick, because we'll need it for the next segment. Noble is back. Yeah, sure, I'll stay near you. Get wrecked. Very nice. Thanks, Banal. You're a real one. What's up, Sigmunds? Welcome in. The Noble Saber is crazy. He's got some rough attacks. Lucky Chimera, good to see you. Hope you're well. And if we put more into Dex... Honestly, putting more into Faith gets us more on the scaling for the Erd tree, the Erd Steel Dagger as well. Okay, let's head back to Roundtable Hold, because we can buy the remainder of the upgrade materials now. Because the Godskin Duo give us the bell bearing for that. All the items from all of the dead NPCs at this point. Or the lost NPCs, at least. Not confirmed whether or not they're dead. We're at plus 19 on this thing right now? Yeah, okay, so we need to get to plus 21 with 9 of those, and then we need 6 more of these, because we already have 6 from other locations we've collected them. And we do this upgrade before we get any Somber Dragon Stones that I might just spam my way through to accidentally upgrading this thing all the way. Not the biggest deal if we did upgrade it all the way, but I would prefer not to, just for my own standards. There we go. The Erd Tree Seal is plus 9. The Flame Art Erd Steel Dagger is plus 24. Blade of Calling is maxed out. And we're off to fight Maliketh. Gotta run past lots of birds and dragons first, though. Should really get like a Bolt Drake talisman for this part, but not the biggest deal in the meantime. Going to ignore the Beast Man for now. Beast Dog, on the other hand. Coward, shooting me from the doorway. Nailed the swag jump. Almost got hit in midair by a projectile or something there, I think. Need to quickly heal after that. And we are going to go fight Alexander, because Blade of Gold seems to be doing reasonable amounts of damage. We can get it to do even more. There's a few other things we could have it do more damage for, like, if we got Sacred Scorpion Charm, for example. But we could also have the Erd Steel Dagger do more fire damage if we got the Flame Scorpion Charm, so I think we're probably going to stick with what we have. Good seeing you, episode of Favorite Minecraft series. Awesome! I'm glad you enjoyed the Survival Guide episodes. I think, honestly, joining Misadventures and the new Minecraft update coming out at the same time has been huge for my motivation when it comes to Minecraft. And now that the weather is improving and like daylight hours are different and stuff, I feel much more interested in being in the office, making Minecraft videos first thing. It's the best I felt about Minecraft for a while. Not that I ever really felt like I was burnt out, but sometimes you don't always feel that stuff. Already know how to resolve it.
That aside, I doubt this. Of course. Which mean, would you come and tell me? I've been longing to. You. Then let us. I am great Jar Warrior, Iron Fist, Alexander.
Oh, yikes.
Lend me strength, O warriors within. Let us become one champion together.
There we go. Good fight.
As I suspected. My thanks. I knew you were the stuff of champions.
Turns out you can break him there a little bit early, which is fun to know. I'm going to take that off for now because we're not using incantations much for this bit. And then, yeah, we'll walk back to Dragon Temple Lift, take that back down. All vessels are destined to one day break. But the great Alexander lived as a warrior to his last. Ha 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 ha! Can I drop down to this part from here? Oh, I can. Nice. That's good to know. We've already got the Dragon Crest Great Shield, so we can ignore the +2 that's down here. And keep on running. Farum Azula is going to be a fun place to draw inspiration from for the floating island stuff I want to do in Misadventures. It's not going to be this sort of aesthetic. It's not going to be like everything absolutely ruined the way Farum is, and I also want to incorporate a bit more red sandstone into the architecture, where all of this is just made out of the same shade of stone with very minor variations. But there's some cool stuff that we can draw from in terms of the way the terrain is like fragmented, and some of the architecture here, some of the towers and stuff, archways, all of that. All of that's so interesting. Alright, here we go for Birds and Dragons then. Apothic! Thank you so much for coming in, and happy birthday for the other day. You were on my front page twice. You were on the Twitch front page, and you were also on my, like, recommended streamers you know carousel thing, so it was super cool to see. Hope you had a fantastic birthday stream. It seemed like you had a ton of folks there. Richly deserved, of course. I'm about to die to this bird. Oh wait, no, it got stuck on a building. Sucks to be you. If you folks aren't following Apothic Decay, go drop them a follow. Lovely streamer, very welcoming community. All about that van life. A lot of Stardew Valley as well, which I absolutely love as a game, so always gets my heartiest recommendation. I still think it's incredibly rude that the birds don't get damaged by all of the lightning going off here. Okay, now just survive the dragon. Easier said than done. Ow. Double KO. Just person with a knife in a dream. 2 knives. As often as I can spare them. I do also have healing magic, so I should probably get that on deck for this next part, because that's going to be a concern. Although... well, it would help if I hit them, wouldn't it? There are rocks in the way. Nice. Oh wait, that one just went off the side of the island. I like the knockback on this thing. Yeah. Okay, cool. We can flop them off the island. Get sliced. Sliced and diced. I slice you and dice you, sir. I slice you, and then I dice you. Okay, good. Frame rate is so good. Thanks. Never been complimented on my frame rate before. Buy me a drink first. The OG slap chop, yeah. That's what we call... there's a scene in the Hobbit movie trilogy where Legolas is fighting, and for some reason they gave Orlando Bloom 2 daggers, and he's like flying through the air upside down, and he's doing this like slice combo thing, which looks so goofy, and we just call it the slap chop because he's just like slicing up some fools. My partner has named that the slap chop, and that has definitely stuck. Okay, so that's leveling that. That's also leveling that. Actually a little better. So maybe we should be putting points into faith? Surprising everyone on this faith scaling build? I'm just surprised it's still adding to the damage, but... I guess we did just scale these weapons up a little bit, so... the game is just capped at 49 FPS. Okay, well, I think 50 FPS is still, like... weirdly the industry standard in some places like the UK because of like PAL frame rate stuff. So you're not too far off that. Only problem with this build is we really don't get staggers at all, so... that's why it's a problem. Yeah, we are a little bit squishy. I will say a little bit squishy. Which is a concern for Maliketh, but... we could start putting points into Vigor again. I only have like 40 Vigor when I don't have the Rune Arc active. Which, right now, we've got 3 left after this. We're going to get a free one at the start of Lanedale. We may as well give it a try. And we could catch Flame a little bit here if we want to. We are the Kindling Maiden, so I'm allowing myself to use a couple of incantations here. Oh no, you don't with your horsey. Try it, bud. Well, youch. He tried it, he succeeded. I was right here the whole time. Oh, missed a delayed attack over here. Quick heal. Horse is going to fireball me. Yeah. The close range fireball, too. Don't you dare. Alright. We used all our health flasks on that, but once again, we cannot poise break that guy, so it seemed to go okay. Random smithing stone, yeah, just in case. Just in case we need another Somber 7. They all seem to be in Farum Azula, which is really funny, because there aren't many things that you can't get before you come to this area, upgrade material-wise. There's always places you can get them, but Somber 7s are in short supply in this game. So that's taking us to... Ooh, almost. Just one more of those. Nice. 400 runes left as we go into Maliketh, so it doesn't matter if we lose them. Dex or more faith. I mean, it's kind of even Stevens, really, because we get 2 on one and 1 on the other from both of these stats. My left armament 2 doesn't matter because that's the scaling on our incantation seal, but we'll get faith to 77, why not? Evil Shadow! I'm doing great today, thank you for asking. Got 2 Minecraft videos out this week, which is the first in a while, sorry to say. So, yeah, very happy. We had a great stream on Misadventures. Now we are continuing the Elden Ring run. Maybe starting another one if we get through this easily, but something tells me the next couple of fights are going to be a little tricky. You missed boss fight? You missed a boss fight. We're about to have another one, because the boss fights come thick and fast at this point in the game. I think I could maybe switch to more health flasks instead of mana flasks at this stage. Because we're not using the incantations as much. Okay, I thought I jumped that, but I didn't jump early enough, I guess. And I thought I was far enough away back from that, but I guess not. That's going to be the one that gets me today, I guess. We're really close to second phase here, but I don't have a whole lot of health left. Okay. We'll watch the cutscene for this one. It's a fun one. How often do you get to see an Italian Cold Steel Cinquedilla?
Oh, death.
Fortunately, he moves around.
Become my blade once more.
In bursts in phase 2 instead of being quite so hopsy all the time, so hopefully as long as I don't take too many hits here we can take him down in phase 2 easier than we could phase 1. Like in phase 1 he has a response to you getting behind him, in phase 2 he doesn't, so Wonder if he'll tired of that joke by the end of the challenge, assuming we ever get to the end of the challenge. Of the breath effect that comes out of that. Alright. A few slashes in here. Nice. Okay, good. That one was risky, but we managed it. I'm going to heal here, actually. Great position. Nice. Roll forwards. Oh, tried to roll through him, couldn't quite manage it. We'll take the next heal there. Run around behind him, get the slashes in. A little bit rough on the hitboxes there, but... okay, not terrible, not terrible. Keep it up. Good. Backflip. Great. Good damage so far. No, no, no. Okay, be careful here, be careful here. I could back off and heal, but the heal animation takes a while. Okay, that worked out alright. I had to finish him with the Blade of Gold, but we did it. Yeah! Happy with that. Happy with that. Not too shabby for a first try. I like that. The heal was a risk, but it paid off, I think. I really don't use healing incantations a lot. Except in instances where they, like, stagger enemies, so I think that one came together really well. Okay, right, we're through to Lanedell, capital of Ash, for the finale of the game. It's going to be interesting fighting Godfrey this way. I think Radagon and Elden Beast shouldn't be too bad if Maliketh wasn't too bad. We do a lot of damage with our Flame Art Dagger, which is compensating for the fact that Blade of Gold isn't going to do a whole lot at endgame against the
is unbound.
NPCs who have, or the bosses who have a high holy resistance.
And the lands between are shrouded by death's dark fate.
Want to use a couple of these as thumbnails here and there.
Flames will also burn the impenetrable thorns.
Like how this shot
It is then
is basically from Fringe Folk Hero's grave, so like from the start of the game.
you'll be Elden Lord yet.
Which is a fun angle on, like, this is how far you've come. me at university after a night out. Just kidding. I never woke up face down in a field of rubble. It's like you're on a building site. More like a demolition site in this case. I never woke up in a fantasy world under a burning tree. Alright. We got a fair bit of runes from that, so we should probably level Vigor. Even though we got Morgoth's rune here, I think it's going to help. Although physical defense might also help, and we'll get some of that from leveling strength, but only once. Maybe we'll get a bit of extra vigor, because it'll be multiplied by Morgoth's rune, so... Have fell victim to waking up in a bush. I had a friend at my old place of work who had a ton of stories like that of waking up in weird places. I somehow, regardless of how inebriated I was, always managed to make it home, which is probably a good sign that I wasn't too bad. But like I always had a good homing instinct even when I'd had a little bit to drink. We'll see how well we do against Gideon. We can at least start with a backstab, which is nice. I mean, terrible for him, nice for us. We can also use Blade of Gold against Gideon, but I don't know how many opportunities we'll have to do that. But then I think after Godfrey, Hoarah, Loux, we can swap out the Shard of Alexander Talisman, because I doubt it will help us much in the finale. We take one more step forward from this and he'll start monologuing, so let's take a moment here and there we go.
I knew you'd come.
We're gonna two-hand this just in case it gets us extra damage.
To become Elden Lord. It's a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas.
Well, there goes our chance to backstab.
One shall take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us, that we continue to struggle. Unto eternity.
Did that one fall in the face, I guess?
You thought well.
Everything about that went wrong. I don't know what I did, but I did everything wrong. I think I was like not target locking on him when I was going for the backstab, and then I didn't have the other dagger available. I had the Sacred Seal still on when I was trying to follow up with L1s, and it all went wrong there. That's fine though. We'll see how this goes. Winterheart, thank you so much for the 12 months. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chat, please. Thank you so much for the full year supporting the channel. Enjoy that nerd sub badge, and welcome to the Nerd Herd.
You thought well until now.
You see, I thought this type of armor was supposed to have better resistance against magic, but this guy just hits so hard. So maybe we'll go without the rune arc for now. But again, these are also the closest range weapons possible, so we are not having the best of times regardless. We could get him stuck in a corner and spam Catch Flame if we really wanted to be that guy. Don't know how that hit me, but it did. He didn't even heal that time. Something about keeping up that pressure was interrupting him in the middle of casting. So I think that's part of the thing, is having that amount of pressure.
A man cannot kill a god.
Hitting him with stuff stops him from casting. We'll take 2 more in Vigor. And, yeah, we'll put this back on for now and then swap that for incantations when we need them. I think we'll go 8 and 2 on flasks for Godfrey, Hoarah, Loux. And we will use the Rune Arc because hopefully this will go okay, and having a little extra health will probably help against phase 2 anyway. I'll skip Godfrey's cutscene this time because for whatever reason this one is boring me now. I've seen it a handful of times, obviously, and it does take a while for him to do his big steppy. Tarnished warrior, spurned by the grace of gold. I'm like, yeah, we've heard it all before. He goes on a bit. He does. Considering this is a game full of dragons, the one who drags on the most is Godfrey. In we go. Yep, thought so. Dagger dual wield is not bad against him so far, but he's got range on me. Oh yeah, I forgot he has more of those coming. Okay, there's phase 2. This should be easy. For him. Yeah, I got a little greedy there. Didn't give myself enough time to heal. Unfortunate, but hey, at least we got that far. Like I said, we will need health for phase 2. Plenty of opportunity to go and buy rune arcs now as well, so if we need them, I know where to get them. I don't think I bought all the ones from the round table hold. We're still missing 2 of them from merchants. I think we'll have plenty. Hello? Oh. The messages there were preventing me from switching between items because the prompt there was trying to get me to choose between reading a message and going in the door. Okay, here we go. Bring it. Nice. It's favorable for us. Okay, just got to avoid this. Quick heal. We'll heal one more time there just in case. Nice. Bonnie, thank you for the 37. That's how he normally opens Phase 2. I was surprised he didn't last time, but... Oh, got lucky there with the rolls. Did not think I was getting around behind him, but... Nice. Brink. Okay, this one went better. Up until now, at least. Hopefully this doesn't kill me. Good. Quick heal. There we go.
Tarnished.
Oh.
Thy strength befits a crown.
That one's for you, Bonnie. Thanks for the resub. Well, the good news is we're going into Radagon and Elden Beasts with a little extra vigor, a pretty high faith rating, so if we need to use Catch Flame just to burn through Radagon, then we can. But I'd like to go in with daggers first, and we have enough runes that we can probably go and buy some more rune arcs. That guy was the upstairs neighbor with all the stomps. I like that. If I was a speedrunner and I could, like, have the splits on screen with funny names the way they do, you know, the way they've got, like, goofy nicknames for a lot of stuff, the upstairs neighbor would definitely be Godfrey's. With all of the stomping. That's so funny. There are so many good, like, jokes that are either, like, comments chat has made or something the streamer said one time that they were like, you know, here's an in-joke now. And then there's always one that's just the actual description of the boss or the checkpoint or whatever it is they're trying to reach. Either because they give it the respect or they just don't have a funny name for it yet. Okay. Radagon with daggers time. We're only an hour into the stream. We might get to start Blasphemous Blade today, which is exciting. I need to quickly look up the stat requirements for that weapon. .22 strength, 15 dex, 21 faith. Okay. And then it's B, faith scaling, C, strength and dex. Okay, cool. So we can go in with strength and dex for Godskin Noble. Maybe even with Bloodhound's Fang or something. And then fight Rykard for the Blasphemous Blade. And then scale faith after that. And we need strength and dex for Serpent Hunter anyway, so it works out. Just need enough health so that Godskin Noble doesn't one-shot us. Hammer time! There's a synthwave remix of this called Radagon of the Ball-In Order. Look it up on YouTube, it's very good. Okay, Earthsteel Dagger shreds. Thank you, Flame Arts. Being very reckless here, but that's okay because we're getting the Hammer Slammer. We're not even getting the third Hammer Slam. Okay. Time for... I don't know. Doesn't matter. Elden Beast. Time for Elden Beast. Blade of Gold is going to do nothing, so the Alexander Talisman isn't going to do a whole lot, but... we're not going to benefit as much from the fire damage. Amazing how straightforward Radagon is now compared to some of the other bosses, when Radagon definitely used to be one of the harder fights for me. I was gonna ask Zerotron if that was a typo. I'm glad that the mods approved it, because honestly that's still pretty funny. I was in the bathroom for 2 seconds. Yeah. Radagon does not take long if you have fire weapons. Time to kill a god with what amounts to some very powerful cutlery. I mean, calling the Blade of Calling a butter knife. It's at least a steak knife, I suppose, right? A split in the speedrun for Elden Beast should be something like Space Dino. Oh, I'm certain it is, yeah. Like, I'm certain there's somebody who's like Space Whale. What just happened there? I tried to get on Torrent and it walked me up to his face. Hello? Did you guys see that? That wasn't just me, right? Like, instead of trying to ride Torrent there, I think I tried to ride Elden Beast. What's going on with this game right now? Man, if only that worked the next time as well, because I could use it to walk towards him. That's basically what people use Torrent for in this fight anyway, but what just happened? That was ridiculous. There it is. Come back here, you. Stand and fight. Still so annoying to dodge that attack. Welcome to Particle Effects, the boss fight. Oh, good job, Torrent. Come on, then. Good. Okay, getting back on Torrent for Elden Stars. Just to bob and weave a little bit. Running away from the singularity. Cool. Elden Beast has apparently seen the weapon skill on my dagger because it's using waves of gold all the time as if to say, hey, I have a better version of that. Okay, what is going on with my positioning in this fight, please? Definitely need 2 heals after that. The camera is going crazy right now. And that's the beast done. Blade of Calling. Honestly, not bad. Honestly, not bad. It found me on a good day. And I think that one went pretty well in the end. Shout out to the Erdsteel Dagger for a really strong support weapon. An Accord. Friends, I offer you an Accord. Elden Lord. All the way up to 50 Vigor. And mending the Elden Ring. Is the Elden Beast just Nessie? Yes. Yesy. Alright, so we're starting Blasphemous Blade today. Which means I need to find out what I had in mind for the character name for Blasphemous Blade. Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. I'll have that as a thumbnail. Weapon number 33. We're a third of the way to 100. It's kind of wild.
The fallen leaves.
Which means we're a 12th of the way through all of the weapons? It's pretty nuts.
Of how a tarnished became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between.
Imagine Lanedale getting more and more action every time this happens.
Look back upon us and recall
Somebody comes along with a leaf blower.
an age of fracture.
Yes, 402. Broken Physics did the numbers last time, and it seemed like 6 weapons were unaccounted for. Maybe just because they weren't actually in the game. They're in like the files, but you can't acquire them in-game. Anyway, there we go. We are not beginning Journey 2, of course. And here we are back at Round Table Hold with an Accord. Although, I think, yeah, it's deservedly Erdsteel Dagger out there hand in hand with Blade of Calling. The Young Prophet, Anacord. And that's the equipment. Tree Seal, obviously we had a bunch of incantations. Didn't end up using Catch Flame as much as I expected to towards the end, but it was very helpful in getting us to the Blade of Calling. But Blade of Calling, pretty good. Pretty good, I'd say. Not such a bad weapon, especially with a decent support. Now, that was 6 hours 50. This one should be a little faster. New character, new weapon. Yes, that's how we do this. So we're going to have a red head for this one because we're going Rykard-y. Although we don't really know much about what Rykard looked like. I think in this one we're going to start... I want to say Vagabond? Vagabond seems like a good idea. We'll start with like a good old broadsword at least. Starting Golden Seed, of course. This guy's going to be named Family. Joining the Serpent King as Family. Base templates. Let's go Seafarer. Need to alter face and hair. Give him probably slightly longer hair. Maybe we'll go with this. Give him kind of the Radagon red hair kind of vibe. Adjust the color from there. Make it even redder. Like a ginger Jason Momoa. He's got lustrous hair. Change up the face structure or the face template maybe a little bit. I like that for a character. A little bit of red peeking through the helmet there. All right. Here comes the bounty ball. Sing along if you know the words. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Be right back.
The fallen leaves tell a story. The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering.
I just got back in time to see our boy. The God-Devouring Serpent.
A war
And the mad taint.
from which no lord arose.
This should be a really fun run. For a start, we're going to beat a Shardbearer really quickly.
A war leading to abandonment by the great.
And for once, it's not going to be Margit, or Godric, rather.
Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead, who yet live.
He's changed the stream title as well.
Call of long lost grace speaks to us all. Hoarah, chieftain of the Badlands,
Ba-ba-ba.
the ever brilliant Gold Mask.
Ba-ba-ba.
Fear. The death
Are we going straight to Rykard? After the usual leveling up stuff, yes.
Dung Eater. And Sir Gideon Othmere. The all-knowing.
So my plan is level up with Grail, and Knight's Cav. Get Bloodhound's Fang, upgrade it to maybe +4, go to Volcano Manor via the Ray Lucaria, get Godskin Noble done, level up Serpent Hunter.
Whom grace would again bless.
Kill Rykard, and then
No renown.
use Blasphemous Blade from that point onwards.
Cross the fog to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring. And become the Elden Lord.
The Loathsome Dung Eater will be added to vocab effective immediately, yes. The Feculence Devourer, for anyone who's seen Severance. Alright. We're not going to use the halberd, actually, so let's keep the helmet on for now. Yeah, we got medium roll. That's all good. Need to get yourself a copy of this game at some point? Do it. It's a great game. Love this game. So, we need 20, 22, 15, 21 is our stat spread for Strength, Dex, Faith. We're probably going to get all of the Faith we need from having beaten Rykard so early, because he drops a ton of runes. Replaying Dark Souls 1 Remastered, Godskin Duo make Ornskin and Smole feel like such a joke now. I beat those guys my first try playing Dark Souls, because I played Elden Ring beforehand. And I didn't struggle. The only boss I struggled with in Dark Souls 1 before Bed of Chaos was the Bell Gargoyles. And, like, from that point on, I didn't have a problem until Bed of Chaos, which is a gimmick fight anyway, and you're supposed to kind of repeat it multiple times, I guess. But then, after that, Gwyn was, like, the only fight I really had a hard time with. I had a hard time with the areas in Dark Souls 1. Like, I did not know what to do in Blighttown. But, yeah. Like, after you've played Elden Ring and you're used to the bosses being really rough. Like, Dark Souls 1 and so far Dark Souls 2, the bosses aren't that bad. The Pursuer was kind of a thorn in my side for a little bit.
Of course, unfortunate without you are fake.
But even that was, like, less than 10 tries.
It will leave even if it
Whereas there's some in Elden Ring who've taken me, like, hundreds.
it's a castle. If you
But then I haven't been doing too much of the optional stuff in Dark Souls. I've been doing all of the mandatory stuff, mainly. Easy to forget how much the difficulty's been ramped up in the newer games. Yeah, and I think I've heard Tulot the Barbarian say this in one of his videos. Like, he was doing Moonlight Greatsword across every title in the series, starting with Demon Souls. And he said, in Demon Souls, it's really obvious that, like, in the later games, they figured out it's much more fun getting stuck on a boss than it is getting stuck on areas. And so, like, they made the areas difficult and the bosses not so difficult. And then, after a certain point, they decided to swap that around.
And I can also that you're not then. Why not? I am Carlin. Goodbye.
So, like, obviously in Elden Ring, I think the navigation through these areas, while it's not across the board easy, it's still easier in the open world. Like, the dungeons themselves, like legacy dungeons and stuff, can be a bit of a trial, but the bosses are still the climax of everything in terms of difficulty. Whereas getting through Blighttown felt like the most challenging part of the entire game in Dark Souls 1, and then I killed Kalag first try. So, like, I had absolutely no idea what I was supposed to do in Blighttown, and so I ended up finding, like, the, I ended up finding the Lake of Ash before I found Kalark. But that's part of the game, that's part of the fun. Here's Melina. She offers us an accord.
Have you?
That was the previous playthrough.
Turning to aid you, you need to the foot. Then it's summon me. Ah, I bequeath. You. It will summon Torrent. Treat him with.
All right, time to treat Torrent respectfully and use him to ride into this cellar. We're doing our usual Grail setup: Morningstar, Wild Strikes, Blood Grease, all of the above. We need the Wet Blade here so that we can apply Ashes of War. But the Blasphemous Blade does not allow you to change that, and why would you? Because the Ash of War on that is absurd, and we'll probably just spam it through the rest of the game. So I think as long as it's easy enough for us to get the Blasphemous Blade, we should be able to get to Vare today, or get to Mogwin rather, get Vare's quest done today. Starry Blue, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Really appreciate that. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. Today we are streaming a bit of Elden Ring, although we did stream Minecraft a little bit earlier, so if that's your bag, then more streams will be coming soon. We might do some this weekend, although this weekend is Dungeons & Dragons with the 8-bit community, so that will be happening at 5 PM my time. Although it might be 6 PM now, actually, yeah, because the clocks go back on Sunday. After this brief period of 7-hour time difference between myself and my in-laws. And a 3-hour time difference between me and the guy I do the podcast with. Can't wait for the misadventure in D&D, yes. Yeah, it's been a while since we had a solid schedule with D&D as well, because a few people have had like other stuff they've gone to do, work things and life changes and that kind of stuff. So it feels like we haven't really broken in this arc of the campaign yet. But we'll get there. Okay, this time around we don't need to go to Stormhill because we won't be leveling up any standard weapons. They're basically all somber all the way down.
This way, tarnished. May I have a
We'll go say hi to Rani.
And upon the talk thou art call for. I was in stride torrents. 'Tis a summon them the spirits now it is that. I doubt we how long will before the time.
Let's go get our gold pickled Foulfoot. Free of exhausting workday. Hooray for Elden Ring time. Yay! Welcome in, Robbie. We've just finished with Anacord and the Blade of Calling. We're now on Blasphemous Blade, which should be a really fun one. And by fun, I mean you just spam the same weapon skill over and over again. But that is fun in this game. Especially after I've had to think so hard about some of these builds. This one I might take to the DLC, if only because there are a couple of talismans in the DLC that I think really improved the lifesteal build aspects of this, but I don't know for certain if we'll actually need them, so we might just power through the base game after all. Blah, boo. Oh. This man, like Vin Diesel, will only have one thought on his mind: family. Indeed. I did consider briefly making him look like Dom Toretto, but then decided against it. Blasphemous Blade is going to be a good time. I think it's going to be a very fun one. It's been a while since I used this weapon. Last time was probably with Zloy XP for the first co-op run, where I was that kind of Flame Monk Paladin style build. Such a busted weapon, might be a shame not to test it out on some tough bosses. Maybe. We'll see what we have the opportunity for. It has been balanced a little better with the more recent patches, because I think it used to do a lot more like knockdown poise damage than it does these days. Like, it used to basically spam interrupt Malenia, which is one of the reasons it was a good weapon to fight her with when me and Zloy played co-op, but even then, I think it took both of us and our Mimic Tears to complete that fight, so... Isn't that character kind of Aragorn inspired? Ended up looking a bit like Aragorn. Wasn't necessarily Aragorn inspired, but just a confessor build with long hair. Kind of looks like Aragorn by default. And the Great Sword means you run a bit like Aragorn as well. But, my running joke for that one was that I put all my points into Vigo. Which is a very good joke if you know Lord of the Rings and Elden Ring quite well. They nerfed everything that could do that to Malenia. The Flying Gnat Bleed spell was so OP in 1.0. Yeah, I think Mohg's like Sacred Spear is still one of the best weapons to cheese Malenia with, but I think you need something good to distract her, like a good Spirit Ash, because it takes a long time to charge that ability up. And obviously you need the right setup in terms of talismans and everything, but then the right talismans and buffs and whatnot can one-shot stuff in this game, so... Well, it's been a while since that happened. And for the other co-op run, it was Virgo. Oh, yeah, it was Virgo Mortensen, yeah. That was the astrologer run, so it was a little different. There's definitely something about co-op that brings out the Lord of the Rings references. Lord of the Elden Rings. Oh, speaking of which... Sloy, welcome in! We were just reminiscing about the co-op runs. So welcome on in. Thank you so much for raiding over. Hope the new channel is going well. We are on the 33rd run of the Elden Ring A-Z, where I'm trying to beat Elden Ring with every weapon in alphabetical order. We are now on Blasphemous Blade, which folks may remember if you watched me and Zloy play Elden Ring in our first ever co-op run. This was the weapon I used up until it turns out Maliketh's Black Blade did a ton of damage to Elden Beast. So yeah, we did summon you a little bit there, but I'm glad you answered the call. Just finished Outer Worlds using only a gloop gun. Nice. You're just a challenge runner now. What's with that? Like, I like the career change, but... I mean, I'm one to talk, I suppose, right? Why does Loy have a new channel? Ask him that. We're both doing single weapon runs. To be fair, I'm not doing exclusive single weapon runs. The setup I allow myself means I can use other weapons if it's beneficial to the run, makes it feel worthwhile. Like, I'm not just using one weapon, but like the last one was a dual wield daggers build, because you can only get one Blade of Calling per run. So it's a little different, but perhaps similar in spirit. Yeah, rule of cool. You're doing Minecraft over the next Truly Bedrock stream weekend? Nice. Basically doing a build for every weapon? Yeah, that's kind of the goal, really, is do a build. Find new ways to play this game. Find goofy play styles that will work. But in the case of this one, really just spam L2. Since this is a faith scaling weapon, we might as well go down here and get the faith scaling tier. Because we'll have the Physic Flask. We've already got the Strength Knot tier. The Strength Knot and the Dex Knot are going to work really well against Godskin Noble and Rykard as well, so... Single weapon would maybe be faster if not easier because you do a lot of extra objectives. On the one hand, yes. On the other hand, I feel like I'd get stuck on bosses more because there are some situations in which the weapon would be really bad. And I would just have to rely on my own poor ability to dodge all their attacks and get off what damage I could. Because fighting Radagon and Elden Beasts with any weapon that does exclusively holy damage is going to be awful. I say that knowing full well that Cypher Patta is coming up at some point in the next, like... Cypher Patta and Coded Sword are coming up in the next letter block. So, yeah, good luck me, I guess. Because they do exclusively holy damage. At least Cypher Patta is a fist weapon, and I know how to build those to be relatively powerful. But, yeah, that's going to be a war of attrition. We'll tag this just in case we need to come back here. I don't think we will. But for now, let us walk back here, go default height. Holy damage only run is Nightmare City? Yeah. Cypher Patta's weapon 62. Okay, we've got to do twice as much as we already have to get there then. That's not too bad. It might happen eventually. Coded Sword is 71. Oh, so they're at least 9 weapons apart as well. Shout out to the penguins, by the way. Went around the graves there, didn't get a single golden rune, doesn't matter, never mind. Originally bought chopsticks and the note said I was Groot. Very funny. Right, Blood Rose collection. A few more golden seeds. Dodge this guy. Okay, that's more than enough blood grease. Could probably use it for Godskin Noble later, though. nice smooth ride through Fort Height today. Kick that guy in the face. Up the ladder we go. And we're off to see the dragons. Via the Mistwood, of course. Last time we didn't even hear the howling. This time we won't really be able to miss it. Also, I'm not certain if Taker's Flames is a charged attack, but the charged attack crystal tier could be valuable from here. And the Axe Talisman. I think we'll get the Axe Talisman anyway, because Serpent Hunter obviously does charged attacks. And that's going to be massively multiplicative for the damage when we go into fight Rykard, so that'll be really helpful actually. Ah yes, I play MMOs, massively multiplicative on the damage. Brief hello to Shifra River, haven't been there for a while. Shout out to Bears also. Bears, Boars, Battlestar Galactica. Can't remember the last time I heard someone say multiplicative. Watch a few more Elden Ring build videos, you'll hear people say it a lot. Brief rest here. What's the flag on the wall? I think that one's the non-binary one. Chat can control that using channel points. There are a bunch of solid colors, pride flags, Minecraft scenes, stuff like that. Just all thematic, fun, light patterns. Stuff that I can do with a panel of like 4x4. I am going to go through... Oh, it's the ace flag. Yeah, the non-binary one has yellow in it. That's right. We're going to get this grace just in case something awful happens. Now it's the non-binary flag. I say multiplicative all the time, but I'm a math tutor. Well, that'll do it, yes. We're going to ignore the Somber 9 that's over here because we won't be getting any of the other weapons to 9 before we... manage to get the Blasphemous Blade. Hopefully, at least. Okay, Dragon's going to turn around, so we'll wait and equip this. Actually, we'll equip that on right. We'll craft the blood grease in the meantime. Equip that on left. Okay, wait for the dragon to turn around fully. Go and introduce ourselves. Hi. Wait for it to do some sort of fire breath. Yep, there we go. And now we wait. Is Serpent Hunter a regular smithing stone? No, it's somber. But we only need to get it to maybe like +4. Or at least that's my hope, my goal. You can fight Rykard with a completely unupgraded Serpent Hunter and still win pretty emphatically, so... We're going to go Bloodhound's Fang to +4, Serpent Hunter to +4, and then Blasphemous Blade all the way. Don't know why you're trying to fireball me from over there. Just gotta wait for him to get into the circle. Go on, just a touch more. One more big step. That'll do. And now we wait for some kind of flying maneuver. There we go. Huge. New game +7, or do I start a new game each time? I typically start a new game unless the weapon can only be acquired after Fire Giant. Sick. That's 100,000 runes for us. Yeah, that tree has some strong branches, it's true. Right, time to see if we can get Knight's Cav in the period of the same gold Foulfoot, which didn't work out for us last time, but hopefully should this time. And then we save one for Greol, and that should be all the runes we need to get through Rykard, hopefully. Yeah, that dragon insta-kill glitch is absurdly reliable now. Like, it's getting to the point where that's more reliable than Knight's Cavalry. Never knew you could do that? Yeah, I learned it really recently. I saw Gino, I think, do it. Oh, it despawned. Dang it. Well, that's only a small problem, because we just need to rest here and pass the time, but we're just losing time on the gold Foulfoot. But yeah, I saw Gino do the dragon cheese, and looked up a video for it, and it was really easy once you figure out what you got to do. Okay. Let's pass time until nightfall. We still have our buff, so that's okay. Hopefully it lasts. This guy can be a little awkward to cheese off the bridge, but I will do my best. Get wrecked. Come over here, bud. Okay, he's assumed the position. Now we just need to convince him that driving off the bridge is a smart idea. Well, he's down there already, so it's only a matter of time. There he goes. And I think we got that in the time of the buff. Perfect. First try, let's go. So here we are, still level 9, 158,000 runes. And we're off to cheese Greol as well for another 100k. There we go, buff just wore off. that tree avatar, if you had a strong enough weapon by the time you came here, would probably also be a really good fight to do instead of Knight's Cav, because it would get you more runes, but yeah, no way I'm fighting him at level 9 with an unupgraded weapon, so wouldn't happen within 3 minutes, even if I gave myself the full 3 minutes. Right, quickly equip Morning Star just to make this slightly easier. We're going to level Strength up to 22, Dexterity up to 15. We're not going to level Faith at all yet. We're going to put Vigor and Endurance up. Maybe get Faith to 25, pump Strength. That should be reasonable. We've got the Blood Grease we need. Oh yeah, we didn't put Wild Strikes on this. Oops. Wild Strikes will make this actually faster, so better do that now. Let's also upgrade all the flasks. We've got tons of Blood Grease, and this is probably the only fight we'll be using it for, except maybe Godskin Nobles, so we'll do the Wondrous Physic now as well. Ash of War, Wild Strikes, Heavy. Heavy will do. Never played or watched any Elden Ring, but looks interesting. It's super fun. It's a very, very cool game. As far as Dark Souls games go, it's also the most approachable Dark Souls game. If you played open world games before, it's a treat. Allows you to kill massive dragons purely by attacking them like they're a wall. Oddly therapeutic, it is. I'm always surprised by how much I enjoy and find this game relaxing. Now that I'm more familiar with it, at least. Want me to get your rage out? Yes. Dragon standing still for you isn't par for the course? I mean, no. The other dragons will try and attack you a lot more than this one will. It's just that this one has a lot of other dragons around the front of it that try and attack you if you try to attack it, and so the goal is to attack it from the back because it's very large and there's nothing back here. Same can be said for Minecraft when you think back to your first night. Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's certainly a lot more stress in the early days of Minecraft than there is in the later days. There we go. We were just short one more hit. So that's the rest of the runes we should need for now. Another 100k. Let's put Faith up slightly closer to our goal. 16 seems good. Do we even have any golden runes? Oh, we do. We need another 600 or so, but that's fine. In fact, we'll put one more into Dex, because wielding Bloodhound's Fang that way is going to be preferable. We'll go and spend the rest of that on arrows from Kale, which won't be many arrows, but we'll need them sooner or later anyway.
Wait, well, you're...
Great.
Goodbye.
10 runes, much more losable. And off we go to Fort Faroth. Where our goal is just to get a medallion. We might get the talisman as well. My thinking is that both the talisman pouches, yeah, if we get Margit done just for the talisman pouch, I think that's going to be really helpful right now. So even though I don't want to go and do Godric right away, I think I do still want to go and kill Margit. Margit will be easier if we have the Saw Seal, because Bloodhound's Fang will do more damage. Bloodhound's Fang will be easier to get because whatever weapon we're using to kill Darrowell will do more damage. And then we can probably even keep it for the fight against Rykard and Godskin Noble. What's up, Blacklad? Good to see you. Well, this time, fortunately enough, we don't even need to go and cheese that dragon into breaking a statue for us. We'll go and get this grace. I don't know if we're going to fight Radagon in this one, because we can have our pick of the other shard bearers, but then there might be some stuff that would be really useful to get from areas after Radagon or areas that Radagon unlocks. And if we go into the DLC, we'll have to do it anyway, but I don't fully know what the build for this is yet. We're kind of flying by the seat a little bit here. We at least have +4 flasks. We have 6 of them. We have a decent amount of vigor and endurance. And we will have most of the smithing stones we need here. At least once we get to EG. Radagon might be good to do for options you might need later, probably. Although, yeah, Radagon is more useful for int builds, for, like, Rani's whole path. In terms of the stuff you get from Nokron and whatnot. Or if you want to do summoning. Come back here. Alright, cool. We got that. We'll get the Dragon Barrow Grace, because we'll come back here to get the Gold Scarab later. Oh yeah, when I was at Carley, I should have asked him about the Howling. So let's do that.
Well, you're back. I suppose. Next time you don't frag yourself.
So that's a free Smithing Stone 2 for us. We can equip this as well. Probably remove the shield because we won't need it. I think we'll go back to Longsword for now. Although Wild Strikes might be pretty useful against somebody. Yeah. Actually, no. Keep the blood grease around. We'll need it. I'm not sure which of these will do stronger base damage, but it shouldn't matter too much. I think we'll just keep the Morning Star for Wild Strikes. I just like the idea of using a sword. Because we're about to go and get another sword. Not that one. This one.
Carley sent you. The name's Bloody fled, so come tell me if I can offer you.
Alright, well, whatever he can offer us, we're about to take it. Oh, that's another thing you don't get to do if you don't do Nokrin. You don't get to see the cool skeleton sitting in the chair. Longsword is in the spirit, yeah. But then we're about to get the Blasphemous Blade within about, like, 2 more fights, so... we'll be doing a substantial amount of the game with it.
Rotting in a cell is no true justice. No. This is where it ends.
I thought I could just Wild Strikes. Turns out maybe I need to put a bit more effort in than that. That's what we'll do for the Margit fight, though. See how huge the bleed was on that? Morning Star, baby! Thanks, Blythe. You're a real one. Actually, no, we have Bloodhound's Fang for Margit. What am I talking about? Well, this thing is technically a curved sword, but... a curved greatsword, to be fair. So we're most of the way to a greatsword.
How to work for him, say I'm not... Oh, if you venture, tell him I still be sure I owe you honor.
Thanks, man. Alright, back to Church Velo to upgrade this thing. We'll go fight Margit for the Talisman Pouch. Won't really need the Smithing Stone, but there you go. Funny thing is, if we go and fight Godric and then we go and fight Rykard, we're basically in Lanedale at that point, so we could just keep going from there, but I feel like that misses out so much of the game that could get us some juicy, useful stuff. Like, you know, Shard of Alexander is going to be really useful, but you need to do the Radagon festival for Alexander's quest in order to get Shard of Alexander. If we are just planning to spec for Taker's Flames, then we probably need to fight Radagon. Anyway, it's Margit time, baby! This is going to be a nice quick fight.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Radagon has so much attached to him for a technically optional boss. He really does. So many useful things.
Someone must extinguish thy flame. Let it be Margit the Fell.
Alright, we'll let it. Huge.
Well, thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished. I shall remember thee.
Alright. He's going to remember us. Margit will remember that. In the meantime, we will continue on to Liurnia, where we need to do a heist on a dragon. We could, in theory, get to Volcano Manor the legit way, because we do have the Dexus Medallion. And then all we need to do is, like, accept the Volcano Manor quest, go through the painting, and then go and beat Rykard that way. Kind of easy. Took me like 20 tries. Oh yeah, no, Margit took me a ton of tries the first time around. I'm just really used to fighting him. And this is also the weapon that I use for the speedrun to the DLC that we do whenever there's DLC weapon as part of this challenge, so I've done that fight with Bloodhound's Fang too many times now. +2, Blood Grease, couple of charged attacks. Usually our stats are pretty high by this point as well, because we've cheesed 2 dragons and a Knight's Cavalry to level up. It's pretty straightforward now. Your first playthrough, I think about the 2 early all the same. Oh yeah, like if you take what Vare says about the rays of grace guiding you to where you're supposed to go, if you take that super literally and you're like, oh, so I should just go there straight away, yeah, you're gonna get cleaned up pretty quickly. But obviously once you know what you're supposed to do and have leveled up a bunch and got health flasks and everything, it's a different story. Welcome in, Specs Rays. We're on Blasphemous Blade now, so we're off to get abducted to Volcano Manor. Or alternatively buy Raya's necklace from Boggarts, whichever, but I think the abduction is kind of more fun. But then again, it would mean getting into Ray Lucaria, which we don't strictly need to do. I'm going to buy a lantern from this guy quickly as well.
You're surprised no matter. Why don't? Oh, but don't.
Nice, cool. So I'll put that one up. Yeah, who needs the map anyway? It's funny how much I used to care about having the map, and now I'm kind of like, I can take it or leave it. Dude does a roaring trade in lanterns. It's his best-selling item. It is. Laskia Ruins. We can ignore the smithing stone here because we don't need it. Love watching the old survival guide when I first started playing Minecraft. Awesome to see how far you've come. So close to 1 million subs. I know. I think I'm optimistic, at least, that doing a bit of stuff on Minecraft Misadventures is going to bring in enough people to get us over the 1 million sub line. It's never mattered that much to me. I've been at like 900 and something thousand subs for a while, but passing the 1 million will still be a big milestone. Still means I can put a creator award up on my wall and stuff, you know. But thank you so much for the support. I'm glad you've found the stream as well. Gonna go and get the Grace near here for Vari's quest later. It's the population of the city you live in, yeah. Yeah, 1 million anything is a lot, so... You won't hear me complaining either way. Alright. We're on our way to get the key. Technically, the Serpent Hunter's attacks are piercing damage, so potentially you could deal even more damage if you wanted to throw piercing on there. But I don't have enough talisman slots for that, and I think I'll just be using exclusively charged attacks anyway. Okay, this time we woke up the dragon, so not a perfect dragon heist, but... Now that we're here, we at least get to walk back to... Oh, South Relicaria Gate. We ride, but mostly we ride this way. There's our magic gazebo. It's going to take us to the big lad. Big lad is going to get us the last 2 upgrade materials we'll need to hopefully beat Godskin Noble. We might be able to go and get some more sacred tears if we really need them, but I don't think we will. I think now we got the one from Church of Erith, we should have +6. We might also want the Carrion Filigree Talisman for Taker's Flames later.
Well, I presume. Oh, I am an old, so perhaps.
Buy one of these, one of those. Nice.
Oh, and if you come to, I am. You don't know. Raise territory when the rain after Levkarian I conjure that is why unless you wish. Blood quite a rare perhaps is at any rate. I've some.
Right. So that's going to be available to us later. Had the final boss run go with Blade of Calling. Gideon gave us a little bit of trouble. Godskin Duo gave us a little bit of trouble, but that was only like 3 extra attempts maybe. And yeah, aside from that, plain sailing. Radagon was super easy. It was a surprise, but then I had flame art on my offhand weapon. I used Erdsteel Dagger with flame art, so we were doing fire damage, which was going to balance the holy damage pretty well. Overall, it was a decent build. Like, Radagon was one of the easier fights. We started off well with Fire Giant, only taking 1 attempt this time, so I'm happy with it. Okay, quick check here. Okay, we can probably get another... Although I think we need 3 Sacred Tears now. There is one in Rey Lucaria, though. It's just after the Red Wolf fight. Erdsteel and Flame Art is a great idea. Yeah, I just wanted to do a dual-wielding dagger build, because I'd gone solo with the Black Knife, so I think it worked out pretty well. And Blade of Calling doesn't have the damage over time thing that Black Knife does, or the max health debuff, so I figured it was worth giving myself something else to give it the edge. So yeah, dual-wielding daggers was a fun one. Meant you could use Winged Sword Insignia. We got Rotten Winged Sword Insignia because of the Millicent quest, because we were going down to the Halig Tree to get Melina's clothes anyway. So it kind of made sense. Oh yeah, we need to two-hand this, huh? Well, this is going to be easy. Didn't double KO the Elden Beast this time? No! Although it did get us down pretty low on flasks. I think we didn't have any major issues with it, but health flasks were still at a premium towards the end there. I think I did pretty well in this room until that point. Mostly just don't want them following me around here to the Grace. Did we need to get the Dectus Medallion if we're warping to Altus? Well, Volcano Manor is a pretty long walk from anywhere else. I suppose we don't strictly need the Dectus Medallion, but it's a nice thing to have to get us to other places, and I'll be going back that direction for the Sacred Tier in Frenzied Flame Village anyway. You know, there's a few bits and pieces that I prefer to keep in the route for the run. But we've only got 1,000 runes to lose, so we might as well go down here and lose them. The 2 are the same weapon available in the game without summoning a cooperator. Would you dual wield them? Yes, we've done that at least once. We've done that for what was the curved sword? Bandit's curved sword. We farmed that one for like an hour or 2 at the start of a run so we could dual wield them. But I don't typically want to do like New Game Plus builds where we dual wield like a remembrance weapon or something, because it kind of doesn't make any sense. Amethyst Geode. Alright, time to get Et. Oh no, what will I do? I've been at. What I will do is go to Volcano Manor to embrace my destiny. I think the last time we had to warp here for a weapon specifically, like for the weapon for the run, was Albinoric stuff. We did this for the Erdtree seal on the last run, so the technique is still fresh in my mind, but still pretty fun doing this. So I think we need to carefully walk off here and then hop on down. Nice. Safe. Backstep across the lava, because lava can't hurt you if it's mind over matter. Take the cage. Sneak past the snake. And we're in. Now the problem here is that we have to be certain we can fight Godskin Noble, and I'm not. So let's test our metal against this guy. I think we'll be alright. Okay, I guess not then. That's fine. We'll run it back. Yeah, I think we need to probably get a grace here somewhere, if we can. Would be my preference, just so that we have an easy spot to heal. That's one of the reasons it's actually quite nice to do Raya's get me the brooch thing, because then you can at least come through Prison Town Church, lower the drawbridge. You can't get to it this way. Lava does look really tasty in this game. It kind of does, doesn't it? But then, yeah, there is a grace over here, which I think we can get back to. Although I think maybe you need to open the door from a different side. But there should be a ladder up the side of this. But I don't know if you can get into this building yet. Yeah. Can I parkour over here? Oh, I can. Yeah, there we go. Well, all my parkour training earlier on in the Minecraft stream just paid off. So that's how we get our flasks and stuff back. It's also how I add a charge to my flask. I wonder if physically I think it's fine. We haven't even been to Round Table Hold yet. Let's open this door. Yeah, alright. Hello? Can I move, please? So at least now we've got the grace, we can warp out of here if this proves entirely futile, but you know, snakes are a thing too. I think it's worth going into this guy. With that. And then we pull Blood Grease on this guy. Okay, that's a huge bleed for a start. Amazing stagger. Didn't get to take advantage of it, of course. And now we just have to avoid getting rolled on. Heal. Okay, that one I mistimed drastically. Blood Grease. Also Blue Flask. Can't target him to save my life right now. Okay, we avoided getting rolled on again. I still have 2 red flasks left. Dang it. I think we can do this, though. I think it's going to be achievable. We are lacking in blood roses for blood grease, which I think is really beneficial to us here, but we'll try it without just for 1 round, and then maybe we'll go and farm some more blood roses. We just need to get a 4 height again. It's not that far. Okay, rolling off there does not cause fall damage, which I'm fine with. Main thing here is avoiding getting stuck on this snake guy. Roger Snakeman over here. Does he see me? Do you think he sees me? Snake? Snake! If you'd gotten that crit, I think you had it. Maybe. Bloodhound's Fang inherently does bleed, so I don't think it'll be too bad. Okay, we can do that. That's fine. Really gotta stop trying to trade for Bloodhound's Finesse there. Nice. Crit's a good one. Good bleed, too. Now we get behind a pillar. Get 1 more blue in. Don't really have much I can do to buff, so we'll stick with what we've got. Are these the pillar strats we expected to use? No. What is he doing? Why is he fighting the wall? Okay, thank goodness for that roll. We did it. Good fight. All you want to do is just find a build that steamrolls the game. Any tips? This weapon is not bad. I will say that. This weapon I'm using right now is not bad. This is Bloodhound's Fang. You've just got to beat Bloodhound Knight Darrowil in the Everjail south of Geel Lake. This one here. You can find an NPC here who, if you get a gesture from the merchant here, will come down and he will help you with that fight. And then upgrade Strength. Find the Somber Smithing Stones. You need to get this to +10. And hitting L2 and then following up with an R2 is a really, really powerful combo that creates a lot of distance between you and the enemy, does tons of poise damage, and pretty decent base damage. So give that a try. But there aren't really too many builds that just completely steamroll the game the entire time, because even though this thing has bleed damage, there are bosses in late game that are immune to bleeds. There's a lot of... Oh, that's not even a useful item. Yeah, there's a lot of things that balance out builds that are broken for one thing, makes them less broken for other things, so... Keep your options open, is what I'll say. But, building strength and dexterity to use this weapon effectively is also a great way to keep your options open, because a quality build is what they're called, with strength and dex at high stats, means that you can usually pick up and use most of the other weapons you'll find that don't have a faith or intelligence requirement. So you can do a lot to change up your options later. It was going so well until that happened. And then this guy's just going to leave magma everywhere, so I'm probably just going to run past him. Anvil on a Stick was another funny one that steamrolled. Oh yeah, but for that you have to get to the DLC. And for that you have to own the DLC to begin with, so... Not necessarily going to be for everyone. I'm just out here getting to the teleporter. I'm off to see your boss. Don't slash me. Okay, we are hour and 12 in. We're off to fight Rykard. The main thing we want to do here is walk in, get the Serpent Hunter Spear, and then leave. Any hammer weapons so far have been good. They really are, yeah. They're big poise damage. They usually have pretty decent base damage. You can put heavy affinity on them, level strength. That also gives you a ton of physical resistance. And then you want endurance to wield the weapon, which means your equip load goes up, which means you can wear pretty good armor as well. It's a bit ridiculous. Okay, we're at Roundtable Holds. The first thing we're going to do actually is go back to EG so we can buy more of the smithing stones. Because I think +4 on this is going to be enough.
Well, then I presume.
Main thing is I'm not certain we have, yeah, a budget for that last one. Although, maybe we do. But then we've also got to level the weapon up. Where is the Serpent Hunter? Yeah, we need a handful more. There is a graveyard up here that we can grab a couple of extra golden runes from. Yeah, we just need 1,200 more. He's like, don't go near the manor. I'm like, I'm going this way. Yeah, this is just some easy cache that's kind of near to where EG is, so... Only thing around here is giant rats, which are pretty easy to avoid on a horse, so... What's up, Braybo? Welcome in. Welcome to the Blasphemous Blade run. We are about to fight Rykard for it. Should not go too badly. We just need to make sure we get this weapon leveled up a little bit. The rats is too big. They are too big. Yeah, I think about that many should do. Although maybe we need one more. Okay, Serpent Hunter is now +4. This thing absolutely rips against Rykard. Yeah, scales on a B for strength. We have 35 strength. We have the strength, not crystal tier as well, so we could be going in with 40. We also have the charged attack talisman, so we're going to be doing a ton of those. We could potentially swap out Radagon's Saw Seal for the Spear Talisman if it seems like we're taking too much damage from the Serpent, but we're giving ourselves a lot of advantages here, is what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, we do take a lot of damage from the Serpent. Also, the running R2 on this thing is crazy. But it doesn't take much to retry this fight either, so... The sword is cool. Yeah, it only does this for this fight. So the extra, like, glowing effects and stuff, this is specifically a weapon for the Rykard fight. It is a pain in the butt to fight him with anything else. And you don't get that same, like, glowing overlay, ridiculous, virtually stun-locking attack with any other fight than this one. Also, I'm in the lava right now. And yep, that did actually stun him. So that's phase 1 of Rykard done. Phase 2. I may regret not bringing more blue flasks into this, because Great Serpent Hunt is an absurd ability, but... Again, we do have the charged attack option, so we'll give it a try. He's like Coral, dude.
Very well.
It's so funny. And here he is. He's about to present us with the sword we're going to use for the run. What's up, Emma Marie? Welcome in. Apologies for how gross this is if you're normally here for Minecraft, but... it's a very cool sword. Also, this cutscene, more than any other for whatever reason, has, like, weird freezes between... switching camera angles. I don't get it. I am family, it turns out. Super cool visuals, though? Yes. Absolutely why I played this game. He ran away that time. He's scared of me. Gonna quickly heal after that one. Hello. One more. Ow. Yep, thought so. Oh, we were so close. Gotta do it one more time. Which means we have to start from God-Devouring Serpent as well. But it's not gonna take too much effort. Just have to remember this guy's patterns. I think we did pretty well at the start of that phase. We did. We joined the Serpent King as family. This is a fight I don't know how anybody does hitless, because he has a couple of attacks that for whatever reason I can never dodge, just because they're such massive AoEs. But then again, they give you a fight that if you level up this weapon, you can kill him in like 3 hits or something, so... But there's one specifically where he like kind of does something similar to Fire Giant's like snowplow attack, but with lava coming up from the ground. Okay, that time I guess we avoided it by rolling backwards. Oh, I forgot there's a third in that one sometimes. Oh, we're getting there, though. We are learning the ropes. I mean, it's not a rope, it's a snake, but, you know, same thing. Same thing. What are snakes if not dangerous ropes? Didn't expect him to get me there, but he did. Okay, that's where the follow-up happens. Cool. Okay, the second one didn't hit that time. There goes our stagger. There we go. I don't think you get any bonuses from just taking him out. I don't think you get any like extra health off the next phase or anything. Okay, didn't have enough FP for the follow-up attack there. Okay, and that one's slow to come out. Okay, that's one. Okay, we are now down to running our 2s. Charged our 2s. And running away from this as it happens. Yeah. We need more blue flasks. We definitely need more blue flasks, because Great Serpent Hunt interrupts him from doing a lot of these attacks, and I think we kind of need that at the vigor level we have. So we'll switch this out for 6 and 2. Honestly, we could probably go 5 and 3, really. That way we can just spam it in phase 1 as well. I also don't have a super high mind score, so I don't have like a lot of FP either, but that time I didn't have any stamina left. Okay, so I can't just spam that, I do have to be somewhat aware of his movement. But I think the flask proportions are good. Just trying to do this way earlier than I usually do, and I'm less familiar with the fight because we never do Rykard. Yep, that one I'm definitely getting killed by. At least we get to see the death for that one. Wasn't last time all bosses? Yeah. Yeah, so Battle Axe, which we still use the Serpent Hunter for, but we could also come here whenever we wanted to instead of having to do it at the start of the run to get this weapon, so I think I had beaten all of the bosses in Limgrave, Liurnia, and probably Caelid before I came to Gelmir in the first place. that'll do. We hit it with the easy combo after that. Nice, there's the stagger. Pretty easy phase 1. Here's our phase 2. We'll start with the same one. Yeah, I've really got to make sure that I don't roll that early, because it's a hit and then drag, and the drag is what hits you. But I think starting with the running R2 in both phases is worth it. And then immediately follow up with this. We traded there, but that's fine. That's good. This should hopefully get us a stagger if I can pull off the second one. Nice. Not ideal, but got the job done. I'm definitely getting better at phase 1 then. Yeah, that drag. That's the one we got to be worried about. He's like digging for us with the sword like it's a spade. When else are we going to get 10k damage per hit on a boss, though? I've no idea what just happened. Like, the lava was here, some of it was hitting me, some of it wasn't, the snake was moving in weird ways. That was just really confusing, and the camera was like whirling over my head. But yeah, that was definitely the closest we've got, and he wasn't going to start his like mid-phase attack there, so I think that worked pretty well. Missed that. Gotta roll back from the poison instead of forwards. This is the one that I can never dodge. Like, that one always hits me. I'm like, how do people no-hit any of this? But I guess that was the first time we saw that, so I guess they just get lucky. Okay, I'm just gonna completely refill blue. And we'll do our best. Wasn't my best, actually. I forget he has a follow-up on that one. What's up, Ramsey? Welcome in. Well, this is going to take us right up to the hour, but at least we'll be able to start the next stream with at least a partially upgraded Blasphemous Blade. Okay, that was a good phase 1. We saved a little bit of blue flask for phase 2 as well. First on your first ever playthrough of Elden Ring, currently nearing the capital? Nice. Best of luck, hope it all goes well. I'm fighting Rykard very early in this one. Dang it, that not connecting kills me. Okay, well, we can get this one in at least. Another blue flask. Get it. I think at that point I got stopped slightly from rolling by taking damage from the lava. It's so rough. You can't get close to him. Been switching between Bloodhound's Fang and Naga Keyboard double slash. Nice. We used Bloodhound's Fang to beat the mini-boss of this area before getting to Rykard, so... It is a familiar weapon at this point. We have used it well on several occasions. What's the second phase called? God of Blasphemy. Apparently being eaten by a snake is blasphemous in this world. Okay, that's phase 1 over. Not the best, but we did okay. You're at an 11, I need you at like a 5, yeah. Me during this entire fight. Yeah, see, like, where am I right now? What's actually happening to me? And then he's running away, I'm like... Such a big sword. I think that's the main problem. It's such a big sword for him, and not a big sword for us when we actually get to use it. Okay, quick blue flask. Let's go again. We just got to keep staggering him, I guess. And this lava lake opens up underneath me, and this entire, like, Rain of Skulls thing that he's doing is stopping me from getting any rhythm in this fight. But we're doing alright for now. Just got to get one more of these off. And I think we're good. Yeah, okay. Finally. Yeah, there's so much going on around you in that fight that I genuinely couldn't see happen for half of it, so... Despite evidence to the contrary. Well, now we have the eye surcoat. We might as well wear that, even though it's distinctly worse. The Are You Sure coat. Oh, and there's Tanith. Had no idea she'd be here immediately.
Dear Rykard, please find purchase within me. I wish to be your serpent, your family. One day, let us devour the gods together. Dear, I wish to one day.
Well, am I using summons? Not for this. I have used them in the past for some of these runs, but these days I'm pretty comfortable with at least the main path through the base game. So I'm trying not to use summons unless it's absolutely necessary. It has been on some of the bow runs because I'm trying to beat the game with every weapon. That does include bows. This is our first time meeting Enya, even though we've just beaten Rykard, which is a little absurd.
To become and I will defend.
There it is. Okay, now back to EG, so that we can buy the Sombers for this. We can get the Somber 5 and 6 from Altus on the next stream.
Braved.
Although, frankly... Oh, we do need more faith. We only need 21 faith. Have I used the Nagakiba yet? Not in this set of playthroughs, but I have used it in the past. In fact, I think we probably want to put a decent amount of points into faith from here, because that will level the weapon. Okay, cool. We have a greatsword.
Brave.
Now we can upgrade this. Yeah, I think we're going to quickly do Vare's quest because I think it'll be really easy to fight Magnus the Beast Claw with Taker's Flames. And that way I can do the leveling between streams like I normally do. So we'll overrun ever so slightly here, but not too far. Yeah, I can't remember if I used the Nagakiba for like a support weapon on any of the previous runs, but we haven't really used katanas much yet. A lot of them have names that begin with later letters.
You claim what? Aha. My doubt. Words of the truly. I believe even worse. That's the part.
Imagine
And give it a try.
walking up to a guy being like, what do you think about the two fingers? And you're literally holding a sword that's covered in the blood of a demigod. You killed Vare? Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't do much with Vare my first time through this. But, yeah, he has some useful knowledge. He gives you a bunch of items that are intended for triggering invasions, but you can do an invasion in-game that progresses his quest, basically. Briefly had the Nagakiba in my offhand on one of the runs. Yeah, I'm sure I did. I forget exactly where. Or for why. But I remember using Piercing Fang a couple of times. Which is a fun ability. Right, we'll touch Grace here. We're not going to be using Rykard's Great Rune because it doesn't really do a whole lot in late game for you. Like, it's fine when you're exploring, but it's not great when you're fighting bosses because it's like heal on kill rather than heal on hit, which Melania's is, but that's obviously balanced differently. So we're still going to probably go and get either Radahn or Morgoth's Great Rune for this build. The fact that this scales with 3 stats means Godric's Rune also isn't that bad, but it's mainly a faith scaling weapon anyway. But my thinking is, if we go and fight Magnus the Beast Claw now, it's going to be a very quick fight. And then we just come back here, we kill Vike probably also quite easily, and then we finish up at Mogwyn. And this is why we want the Dectus lift, because the alternative is going to fight the Abductor Virgins and then leaving via Seathwater River, which is okay. Like, it's not a problem, but love video games because when you really start talking shop about them, it sounds like another language. Yeah, that's one of the things I like about it as well. Is like, there are some games or book series or any kind of like, especially like fantasy literature and everything, where you hear a conversation between people who know it really well and it just sounds like absolute gibberish, but it's gibberish that people are so passionate about that I can't help but be interested in it. It's like when I hear people talking about like Magic the Gathering or Baldur's Gate or any of the really popular recent nerdy stuff that I've just not been into, I'm like, this must be what it's like to hear me talk about Minecraft and Elden Ring. Let's actually hop down here to get the Sacred Tear from 2nd Church of Marika. And then we can hop up the Spirit Spring on the other side. No Eleonora today, of course. Oh, there's this as well. Have I not gone up this before? Evidently not, because this is a really great way to go. Amazing how many of those Spirit Springs there are around the map if you've never found them before. They are everywhere, it turns out. Okay, so that's a new route to this fight. Been saying for years that fantasy sports are for people who can't play video games. Yeah. And vice versa. Yeah, this is going to be ridiculous. Oh, wrong one. The other cool thing about this weapon is that the downward slash from Taker's Flames actually still hits them for damage. So if they're standing next to you when you hit that, it does actually hit them twice, which is huge. Have I ever done a randomizer one? Yes, we did a randomizer for Axe of Godfrey, because that was one of the weapons that was past my cutoff point in terms of when it would become a New Game Plus run. We were going to do Axe of Godric and then Axe of Godfrey in the opposite order that they appear in the A to Z list, but then I realized if I did a randomizer, I could maybe try and get it way earlier in the game, and we ended up getting it from a cave on the Weeping Peninsula. So it actually turned out to be a very quick acquisition, that one. Hi, Gold Mask. And, yeah, then we did a randomizer, and the randomizer was so blessed and weirdly thematic. Like, I basically just play through the critical path of the game on each playthrough where I can. Like, occasionally we'll put in little side objectives and things like that. And people from the golden lineage, like the golden shade form of Godfrey, showed up at Stormvale, where I would have been fighting Godric. And then Godric turned up somewhere else when I was doing an optional boss fight there, I think. But, like, the characters who were super thematic for that weapon kept showing up in interesting places. It was really fun. It was like, yeah, the run of Destiny. And then instead of Radagon and Elden Beast at the end, it was Maliketh and then Valiant Gargoyles. And so that taught me the Maliketh fight, and it also taught me that Valiant Gargoyles is an awful boss, which I knew already, but it was good to be reminded. Managed to beat Renala first attempt, having never seen her before. I was very happy with my efforts. Very good, very good. The Bloodhound's Fang guy took me 3 hours. Darrowell's a tough fight, especially if you're fighting him right at the beginning of the game, which most people do. Okay, so we're now walled until we get a Somber Smithing Stone 7, but that's totally fine because we can go back to Vare now that we've beaten Magnus, and he can tell us to go and get the Blood of a Maiden, and we'll do that. Didn't know you could use L2 for the special ability. Yeah. This weapon in particular, we'll probably need to increase the amount of FP I have. But this weapon in particular, we're going to be abusing the L2 button. How much longer are we going for tonight? Just until we finish Vare's quest, which shouldn't take too much longer.
I wish to a knight luminary. So, now. For normally that.
So we'll go back to the Dexus Lift. We'll do Frenzied Flame Tower and stuff. Didn't know Unsheath was a thing. Unsheath is one of my favorite abilities in this game. On my first ever playthrough, I did kind of what it sounds like you're doing. I did Bloodhound's Fang for a little bit. I started as a warrior with like the dual curved swords, but I pretty quickly switched to a samurai sword. I think I got the Uchigatana from whatever catacomb that's in. And then I used that until I found Moonveil. And then I changed to a strength int, or a dex int build, because I wanted a few spells for, like, long-range combat, just in case I needed them here and there. And, yeah, I ended up using Moonveil as my primary weapon and casting glintstone spells with the other hand. But Transient Moonlight is such an amazing upgrade on Unsheath. If you're used to Unsheath, it's ridiculously good. I think we're going to get this guy's hair out now that I've got a nice brown tabard. Oh god. I'm going to get hit by madness here in a second. Oh, not quite. We had enough focus. We'll grab this as well because, frankly, we might want the buff later. Although we are doing fire damage with this partly, so Flame Grant Me Strength is probably going to be worth it. Attempting a Samurai Bleed build with a bit of Bloodhound's Fang? Yeah. I think it's a good combo. I don't think we should need this, but I'm gonna chug Flask anyway. Honestly not sure if the charged attack thing works for Taker's Flames. But this thing is +6 now, so... And we did 666 damage. The damage of the beast. Chop. He still got me. This game was so overwhelming to start with, but I'm slowly coming to grips with it. Yeah, my first playthrough took me, I think, 130 hours. So, I didn't even do everything in the game either. So it's a long game, but worth exploring for the sheer amount of stuff there is. The amount of care and attention to detail in such an expansive world. It's immense. And then the DLC as well is just huge. 40 hours in, you've just done Nokron? Nice. That's good going. Yeah, I thought so. He's just going to stun lock me again. Well, it's this or go and kill Arena, so I mean, let's not. He's also guarding a sacred tier that I want. Be nowhere near I am right where I am right now without the Elden Ring community. Yeah, this is also a community of know-it-alls who will do their best to help people out. So it's a fun place to be. I've been in a couple of chats where people have really wanted like assistance with this game and like, so where do I go now and how do I do this? And everyone's so good at giving directions in this game. That's how that should have gone the first couple of times. Okay, that's us all done. With the exception, I suppose, of doing Cleanrot Knights. Which should also be easy enough with this sword. But we'll make sure we go and get the Pureblood Knight's medal first. Recommend doing Volcano Manor before the capital. I think they're roughly equivalent. You can do one or the other, really. The capital is sort of where the main story of the game progresses from, so if you want to, like, clear the area before you move on to the capital, then that's perfectly achievable, I think. I don't think you need to, like, double back to do Volcano Manor afterwards. But if you're joining Volcano Manor and doing, like, the assassination quests, there are a couple that take place in the area, like, past the capital, so you probably need to start there and then go and do the capital and then return to Volcano Manor to complete it later. But if you're not planning on doing the assassinations, then you can just continue whenever, like, whatever you want to do. Okay, let's hop on down to... what's it called? Abandoned Cave. Which, incidentally, has a lot of abductor virgins in it, so has something to do with Volcano Manor. Theoretically. Decide you want to make a card game whilst sucking at art? That sounds like a cool project, though. There's obviously going to be a lot of design that goes into card stuff if you just need an illustrator more so than a designer. And now we do the backstepping thing. Nice. That worked out this time. Oh, okay. It's taking a tiny bit of damage there. Oh, I forgot that the greatswords have that, like, amazing circular... that, like, turning slash. I love that attack so much. It's one of my favorite, like... it feels so meaty to do. If you ever get it published, you'd happily send me a copy. Oh, that's kind of you. I do like a card game. The other great thing about this attack is that it does heal on hits, so... if we take any damage in this, we're just going to heal. Shock. Good fight. What brought me to make this character Millicent's brother? I mean, Rykard is supposed to have been red-haired because he is a scion of Radagon before he was eaten by the snake, so I figured make a redhead character. Okay. Here we are, Princes of the Universe. We have our gold scarab. This area gives us access to a +10 upgrade for this weapon. We're going to go hit up the bird farming spots and do some leveling. I'm thinking 40 strength and dex, and then probably 60 faith. And then the rest can go into vigor and mind. We don't need more endurance than we already have, I don't think, so we should be okay. And then once we're into Lanedale, we'll get a +7 Somber Stone. Oh yeah, I can ride my horse here, can't know what we're doing. But then, yeah, with a +7 Somber, we'll have everything else we need to just complete the game. So we need this. And we'll take this. I wonder if Blasphemous Blade might, or Taker's Flames rather, might be a good Albinoric farming skill. The problem is they're not really in a line so much as they are in an area. Just got your Vigor to 30 and Endurance to 17. Should you focus on Strength or Dex? Depends what weapon you're using. Strength and Dex are both independently damage stats for a weapon. They determine what your weapon scales with. So like this, heavy Morningstar, for example, if you've infused it with the heavy affinity, then it will only scale with strength. So Dex is sort of not necessary. Dex does contribute in small ways to other things, like you take less fall damage if you have higher Dex, but that's not really super useful. Whereas something like a katana, for example, or if you infuse a weapon with the keen affinity, it's going to scale more off Dex than it is off anything else. So it really depends what your current playstyle is and what weapons you're using. So if I do like this, for example, I mean, it doesn't quite do enough damage yet because it's not fully leveled up. Yeah, I think it's still going to be easier shooting birds. I think it's going to be faster shooting birds. Okay, flasks are going to be +8 then. Alright, and I'll go back to Round Table Hold. I'll buy a bow, because I don't have one of those yet. But I'll do that between streams, because for now, we're going to wrap things up there. With our dashing character about to go and blaspheme a little bit more. We're currently level 58. We'll probably get up to level 100 or so, and see where things go from there. Folks, thanks so much for joining me. And we're going to head out and raid somebody who's streaming here on Twitch. We might have a couple of friends from the Misadventures stream team live. Looks like Martin is on. Eloise is on. Shelby is playing Wonder Stop today. Mythical Sausage is online as well. Let's go and raid Martin today, because I think we raided Sausage last time. Scott looks like he's on the Realm today. Oh, Martin's fishing. So go say hi to Martin for me. I'm off to have my dinner. Thanks so much for joining me on today's streams. Really enjoyed the Misadventure stream. We'll definitely be doing more of that. Might even squeeze one in on the weekend if we can, but I've got a lot of stuff going on Saturday, so it'll be Sunday if it's happening at all. In the meantime, I'll see you all soon. Have a good one. Take care. Bye for now.